So we have with us Rik Paul, Dr. Rik Paul, and sir, my first question to you will be, what do you think about Venture Edu offerings and how it is helping the startup community?
So if you look at Gen Zs today, right? Earlier when we were growing up and our career choices were pretty much limited, right? So you become a doctor or an engineer. Now when you look at Gen Zs, there are a whole lot of new career choices that have come up. Being a founder of a startup is one of them. However, if you look at the Indian education system, there is not much that is happening to train students in terms of how to build a startup, right? And needless to mention, the entire media community with Shark Tank and other elements. So there's a whole lot of hype that's going around. Students do aspire. I mean, like Gen Zs, they do aspire to get into a startup, build something on their own, serve the community, solve problems. But the kind of skill sets that they need to do so, the traditional ecosystem of education that is in India, that is not good enough. Yes, there are incubators popping up here and there, but the entire system of training them, particularly to get that kind of a skill set is still not there. Probably next 10 years time, the ecosystem would evolve, but right now it's not there. So Venture Edu kind of is getting into that space, and I'm sure not many Gen Zs, including my daughter might get benefited out of this entire initiative.
So my second question to you will be what is the role of gamification in entrepreneurial education?
So if you look at how teaching traditionally has been done over the period of time, we see watches have changed over the period of, dressing has changed over the period of, transportation has changed, classrooms haven't changed
Classrooms haven't.
for ages, right? It has always been the teacher coming in and the taught sitting there and the teacher delivering, and that's kind of passive listening. Now what gamification does is essentially breaks the entire traditional classroom into a gamified environment. For instance, if you look at a game of football or a game of cricket, so you'll see there are certain basic principles that underlies this kind of games. For instance, it's like there would be teams competing against each other. It would be time bound. There would be clear-cut, key performance indicators of who is the winner or who is the loser. Everyone is actively involved in the process.
So all the students will be.
So now if you inculcate all these elements of a game into your classroom teaching or classroom delivery, that's what gamification is all about, right? For instance, in venture education, what happens is there are online simulated environments where you can actually start your own farm and create your own product, do your marketing, and there are business simulators which are there. And I'm sure venture education will going forward use this kind of simulators where there is no cost of failure. You can try and test your ideas, and everyone is involved because this is kind of a gamified environment. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. Thank you so much.
Yes.